So, hubby says he saw me go down, fast and hard, eyes wide open, neck muscles flexed, and I was instantly dead. So, he says he listened for breathing, then pressed on my chest a couple of times. And then he says he smacked me around about 3 or 4 times and called out my name. And then I usually interrupt and say, "But honey, you always smack me around and call me names." But anyway, I looked up and I saw him standing between me on the floor and the phone, telling me, "Honey, don't move, the ambulance is on the way." And the second I was thinking, for what? I could not breathe worth a crap. Then the paramedics burst through, and I started reaching for every blue jumpsuit I could find to help me breathe, just, help me breathe. And it was really chaotic. And then when they started examining me and they saw that my limbs were really, really cold, they were kept saying they were ice cold. My limbs were ice cold, which can't be good. And they started expressing some real alarm at that. And one dude was like, "You are breathing, you're doing fine." And I wanted to cold cock him, but I know I wasn't making their job easier. But every time they put the oxygen mask on, I felt more smothered. So when they took me down the stairway, I vaguely recall drifting into and out of consciousness. But I know whenever I was conscious, I was kicking and fighting. So when I was kind of vaguely aware that we were at the ambulance, I was wondering why we weren't pulling off. But we found out later that it's just my luck that the process is for them to get an IV in first, and I have the smallest veins in the universe, so that didn't sit really well. Finally, they got to where they just grabbed my head and pulled it to the side and jabbed me in the neck, and that's the last thing hubby saw before they pushed him away. And I fought with everybody the whole way to the hospital as much as I possibly could when I didn't just decide to give up and die. But I heard them screaming how ice cold my limbs were, and somebody was like, "Oh no, she didn't even flinch when I did something." I don't know what she was talking about, and they were telling me to take slow, deep breaths and stay with them. It was straight out of Hollywood. So when we got there, well, the last thing I heard somebody scream was, "Oh my God, she's so cold. Shit, Craig, drive faster." So I was still delirious in the ER, and I just saw hubby, the house specialist, and this really, 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 really beautiful lady in shrugs. There were more people in there, but I couldn't really focus on everybody between fighting and so forth. So I saw, between questions about me, my activities, lifestyle, and symptoms, I heard the house doctor say so many times, "I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before." So that didn't sound good either, and I'm still reaching for people because I'm in the hospital. Why can't they, cram something in me so I can breathe? Of course, you got to be careful what you ask for, because shortly after that, I was taken into some room that I don't remember being taken into, and so one of the paramedics came in, and they were telling them that I, crapped my pants during the ambulance ride. And I actually remember that because I thought I was gone for sure at that point. You always hear horror stories about people crapping themselves before they die. So I wasn't scared. I just was pretty sure that was it for me. But anyway, they took me into this room, and in that room is where the action went down. That's where they ran all the tubes and needles and a little bit of here and there and a little bit of everywhere. And they had to push hubby out because every time I heard his voice, apparently I was ripping tubes and needles out of me that shouldn't be out at that time. And he said he saw them put me in a plastic bubble and pumped in blue air, and it had a digital reading of 38°C on it. I have no idea what all that was. I guess maybe getting my body temperature back normal. Who knows? But so like I said, they must have knocked me out to get the tubes and everything. They probably did it via sucker punch to get me back for all the good blows I got in on them. But the last part I remember is the doc asking all those questions, and hubby was naturally terrified, but he was so masculinely composed in the middle of all that traumatic chaos surrounding someone he loved so much. I don't know that I would have been able to do it. I probably would have snapped.